My name's Ted. This is Roger. We're in Roger's museum come study. There's lots of different subjects here, as you can see. Lots of books, lots of stuff around us. This evening, though, we're going to talk about some of Roger's items relating to British prisoners of war in the hands of the Japanese. So, Roger, who are we talking about in the first place? Who's this gentleman?
Well, we're talking about Thomas Garland Haskayne, who was a chap from Ormskirk in Lancashire, who came down to work at the Peterborough City Council, met Kathleen Judd, fell in love, married, and went straight out to war. He got captured at Singapore straight away in February 1942. Spent time in various prisoners of war camp, including Thailand. He died in 1997, and I was fortunate enough to know his wife, and she gave me all his artefacts after he had died.
Okay, I can see by this, because we've got some photos of him and his medals here as well. I can see he was in the Royal Artillery by looking at his cat badge here. What are we looking at then? Exactly have we got here?
We were very fortunate that through the terrible times that these soldiers went to, some of them did bring back artefacts, which have become very interesting. Just here we have Tommy's pipe that saw him through his time in captivity.
That's quite damaged. I can see it's. Is that an old repair?
It's a repair. It certainly is.
And his bowl's cracked as well.
The old story: if walls could talk, this could tell you a story, no doubt.
Yes, that's literally been through the wars.
It has. And interestingly, this is not unusual. I've got a couple of these, but tobacco that we brought back, he had issued in the prison camps and bothered to bring it back to England. Kept it all these years, and it's ended up in my collection here.
You'd think they'd be struggling really for tobacco these camps, and you wouldn't think you'd have anything left over to bring back, to be quite honest, because he'd have smoked it all.
Well, that's right, and plus they was limited to weight, what they could bring back.
Oh, yeah. And didn't they use it? They used cigarettes and tobacco and that to barter with as well. I think they would barter for food and all sorts of stuff.
They would indeed.
So what's this cloth item?
The Jap Happy, or loincloth as it was alternatively known as, and it was so hot out there, but it covered your modesty.
That's all they wore,
and
that's the time.
Basically so hot. That's all they wore. Again, I've got a couple of these, so I've been very fortunate over the years to obtain them.
Is that if you turn it round?
Yeah.
Is that a pocket on there?
No. Yes, just at the back there. Look.
Just turn it round.
Yeah.
There's a pocket in his. It's strange to have a pocket in his loincloth, really. Yeah. It's probably for his tobacco, I guess, or his pipe. Very unusual for that to survive.
Here we have his dog tags that saw him through the war.
So he wore these right the way through.
Right the way through the war.
Yeah. And they're only sort of pressed fibre, aren't they? They're not even metal like the American dog tags. They're just pressed fibre dog tags. Haskayne TG and his number, Church of England. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of documentation to go with it. There's 2 boxes of the stuff I've got as well, but you can't get all bits of paper out because it's difficult to display it.
What's this bit?
This is his own made rank badge that he had on his wrist. Right. Made it himself. He was sergeant. And
there's a picture of the gun on there for the Royal Artillery.
Exactly.
Wow, that looks quite. That looks very small, doesn't it?
It does.
You realise how thin that they probably got.
There is that. I mean, you can open it out.
It will adjust to another. Yeah.
I don't know when he's set that.
Yeah.
But it's a nice little article.
Fascinating.
With the collection, I was also lucky to get some signed books. Perhaps some can remember years ago when we were youngsters, Bill Griffiths.
Yes.
Bill Griffiths was quite often being interviewed on the TV. He lost his sight and he lost his hands in an explosion at a prison camp. And he knew Tommy quite well. And what is nice in there is inside Bill Griffiths' autobiography is no doubt Bill's wife wrote this. All good wishes to Tom and Kathleen. And Kathleen was his wife.
Right.
And you can see he was blind and the difficulty with signing the autograph.
Shall we just put that in a little bit closer? We'll just see that there. Yes, you can see how when he signed that, it's a bit odd, obviously. Yeah, that's to Tommy Haskayne, dated 23rd of the 6th, 89.
Thank you. Another interesting one, Percival and the Tragedy of Singapore. And this was purchased and sent to Tommy from Brigadier Toosey of Bridge on the River Kwai fame. So that's a nice signature as well.
Is he the character that Alec Guinness was supposed to be playing?
Yes, but he was anything but the same as the role that Guinness played. He stuck up for his troops, very much so. But that's a nice
Excellent.
one.
Brilliant.
And finally, if I bend down here, is the War Diaries of Weary Dunlop. He was a very, very famous Australian doctor who went through the prison camps and did his utmost looking after the prisoners of war in their time of need. And again, the signature in this one is personalised to Tommy Haskayne with fond memories and every good wish. Weary Dunlop.
Weary Dunlop.
September 1987. So there's a nice signed copy as well. So I was very fortunate to obtain these. His wife gave me them on the proviso that they was well looked after. Well, I've had them somewhere 40 odd years, so I think we've succeeded on that account.
And they're not going anywhere.
They're not going anywhere, no.
No. So the next man we're going to look at is Harold Hector Howes. We've got some items relating to him here, and particularly you've got one here, which looks
yeah,
quite interesting.
Yeah, Hector Howes, another one of these chaps. I've been very lucky in my life where I got to know him, and rather than dying and risking his collection going into the skip, would you like to look after it, Roger? And of course I said yes, and I've kept them all these years. Hector was born in Wakefield, but he spent much of his life in March. In actual fact, when I knew him, he lived in 100 Road, March. He was a prisoner of war in Thailand, in the Cambridgeshire Regiment. He also ended up in Hiroshima. Now, I never got the chance to ask him this, but I'm guessing he probably ended up in Hiroshima via one of the hell ships, which is another story for another day, maybe.
Yes, yeah.
What we've got here, some from the prison camps again, are embroidered badges of the Cambridgeshire Regiment.
Do you want to hold those up?
And some there's the embroidered Cambridgeshire Regiment badges, and this was insignia from a Japanese superior private that he managed to get hold of and decided to bring home.
Shall I just...
There's...
Sorry, I'll just... Sorry, yeah,
go on.
okay. Carry on.
There is Hector in the prison camp, and that's as I knew him later on in life.
I'll just put these over just a bit nearer. So you can see those, the embroidered badges at the bottom, the Cambridgeshire Regiment, and the Japanese insignia, shoulder insignia by the looks of it, and the pictures of Hector.
Now, a short while ago, we looked at Tommy Haskayne and the tobacco and his pipe that was brought home from the prison camp. And I said it wasn't quite as unusual as you think. But here again, Hector brought home tobacco from the prison camp, and also cigarettes, which was not brought home by Tommy, but Hector did. And there's the cigarettes, and the packaging has still got the Japanese text on it, which is quite amazing. Interesting. That is amazing.
Yeah.
How they bothered to bring it home and not even smoke it en route coming home. So there they are. I suggest they're probably quite unusual.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's of interest. Whether that picks up on the camera there.
I'll just look at that. You can see the Japanese writing on the cigarettes there, and there's some Japanese figures on the packet of tobacco as well. Amazing.
What Hector also brought home is his prisoner of war number, which was 228, and we have a photograph of him in the camp with number 228 on his breast. We have a medical certificate. Now, I'm afraid I've no idea what it is, but a medical certificate while he was a prisoner of war.
It's all in Japanese.
All in Japanese.
Just see his name on it.
His railway number, which was no doubt cut off from some shirt shirt he had on. Unfortunately, you can't see the number. There's no number on it. And really, that's the main interest in items on this for Hector.
Okay, Roger, who we got to look at now?
What we got now is James Goodwin, who was from Whittlesea. And here we have his mess tin, dated 1939, where with a centre punch he's recorded his details on the side of the tin. And it says Bombardier James Goodwin, 135 Field Regiment Royal Artillery, POW Camp, Singapore, Siam, February the 15th, 1942. So that's obviously gone through all these years in the prison camps and is in remarkably good condition. Also what we have is, we'd seen one earlier, I know, but a different type of Jap happy or loincloth. And it's a coloured black one. Moths have got a little bit at it, but it's very, very old and in not bad condition at all.
Very, very small piece of material really. It shows how thin he obviously would have been in the camp.
Yeah, indeed. So that's all we've got there, except his kit bag, which we assume he brought his stuff home, and his kit bag there with the details on it, with Goodwin, Field Regiment RA and his number. So we're assuming that was used to bring his stuff home from the camps. So that's what we have with James Goodwin. And finally, to finish off, most prisoners of war, as far as I can tell, got a certificate from the King and Queen. And it's a nice certificate to end this with, and I'll read it out because I doubt whether you better see it on the camera. The Queen and I bid you a very warm welcome home. Through all the great trials and sufferings which you have undergone at the hands of the Japanese, you and your comrades have been constantly in our thoughts. We know from the accounts we have already received how heavy those sufferings have been. We know also that these have been endured by you with the highest courage. We mourn with you the deaths of so many of your gallant comrades. With all our hearts, we hope that your return from captivity will bring you and your families a full measure of happiness, which you may long enjoy together. King George, September 1945. I don't know whether I would be able to read that.
That's pretty good, yeah.
A fitting end and a tribute to these fine soldiers.
Absolutely.